I say thank you to God for bringing us this last 6 days up to this day, the Sabbath. I thank you for the people I'm seeing now, the Mwebazaz, as I call you. My senior elder, Maurice Apret, thank you that today we are here with you. And I thank you for all those who have come. This is now family life. And with family life, I don't talk alone, we share. Because people have different experiences. It may not have happened to you, but it could have happened to someone, so it's interactive. Thank you so much for supporting the candidates who were baptized. My sister Miriam, thank you for coming. I'm seeing a new face there. Thank you so much. We've been following this. We started with the background to what family life is all about, where we said we shared how family started, why it started, what is expected, who should get married, where to marry from. Then we talked about the responsibilities as a couple, joint responsibilities and individual responsibilities. Today, I want us to share something that has caused pain. That is what has challenges in marriages. Challenges in marriages. Sometimes we enter into marriages and, like I said earlier, we think of the blue movies we watch, we think of the Nigerian movies, and I remember saying that with family life, keep Oga out. It is a matter of God leading us. So now here, what are the things that really are hindrance to happiness in the marriage institution? We shall share it. I'm not saying there are few married women here. I think we are two. Who is a married woman here? Myself. You're married? Thank God. So we are three. My senior is not around. I saw her seated somewhere there. Two seniors actually seated somewhere there, but I think one has escorted the sister for baptism. I'm not sure where Madam Elder is. So one of the things that brings challenges in marriages is being far from God. Youth of today think about themselves, forming groups in centers, some even drink. But when you start with God, walk and work for God, and end with God, then definitely you'll build a wall of protection to safeguard your marriage. Remember, the marriage institution is jointly connected with the third angel's message. When we talk of getting out, like I said earlier, in most cases we only think get out of Sunday worship, but it means sweeping out every dirt. There were two classes my brother was talking about, and I was able to tell that they are the wise and they are the foolish. You have to guard and know which path to follow, that your family may be right. I have a very short time. I have few minutes. So we shall just rush. I'll be highlighting, but I know many of us here, we finished already the children session. So it's mainly those entering into marriage, then the married youth. Then also, as the children of God, we need to guard our associations. Where do you be? What do you do when you're there? And what time are you there? There are men who come late at night, midnight, and you expect the woman to open the door for you. Let that woman come at 8, not 10, but just at 8, and you find him wanting to swallow you. So know where you are and with the kind of people you move with. You cannot put yourself into temptation and you expect to desist from the devil. Try to walk away. I know in Kampala there are some areas known for prostitution, like Speak Hotel. It's well known for that. You don't have to go hovering around there expecting to come out with a clear mind. Put yourself right. You see, when you're mentally right, chances are that your actions are going to be right. But if you do not, what you feed your mind will most likely affect your walk with God. Sometimes God is all knowing and all Adventists know that. But it's not a must that because he's all knowing, he's the one who who lets you fall into temptation. We go there ourselves, face the challenges, and then we begin blaming God. Sometimes, some even now, when they get into what I call a corner, they begin running to church now to pray. God knows you're running there because of an immediate solution, not because you've seen the sinfulness of the act you've committed in marriage. By the way, I want to emphasize this. If there is one thing that will deliver many people to hell, is the marriage institution. Because you say people are smart, but what they do as individuals is they are the only ones who know it. And as a result, many families appear happy, but they may not even be happy. Then another thing that I know, I want to go with the big, what I call the big things that affect marriages, the challenges. Pride and arrogance. Pride and arrogance, I've always said, are twins. A situation where someone does something and is not willing to admit, it leads to mental torture, where it happens. I'm not against men, but if a man does something, sometimes they don't admit. If they choose to keep quiet, they'll keep quiet like they do not know what they have done. Yet in reality, they hold the answer. This will torment the woman, and as a result, in most cases, she will turn against you. She will be doing something that you don't expect them to be doing, simply because they know that you are the one who has done them something bad. So let's be honest with one another and let's do things that are right. Pride should be put outside. Arrogance should stop, and we shall have happy families. Then there is the inferiority and the superiority complex. These are situations where who understands inferiority and superiority complex? For the married people, inferiority and or superiority complex. A complex, a superiority or inferiority complex. Have you seen men who, it happens to women, but usually for women it happens with fellow women. But men, it happens with the immediate wife or a sister. That's a situation where if the wife probably earns more, you yourself begin feeling small on your own. And you begin torturing her. You just imagine, she feels she's a man in the home. She feels she now earns. This woman can be very good. She may be doing anything right, but you'll want to torture this lady simply because you feel you are the man. As a result, this woman may not be who she used to be when she entered your home. She may choose to keep quiet. She may even withdraw her money. After all, you say you are the man. Not so. So you feed the family. And yet sometimes you're not able to meet the expectations of the family as it's supposed to be. I'm trying to be fast. Then another thing is the infidelity or adultery. This is the biggest blow from 80% to 95% of the marriages, where one partner goes outside. Let's go to Hebrews chapter 13, verse 14. Chapter 13, verse 4 to 5. Was read there, you can read out. Hebrews chapter 13, verse 4 to 5. Marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled, but whoremongers and adulterers God will judge. And then 5 says, let your conversation be without covetousness, and be content with such things as ye have, for he has said, I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. Meaning that the marital bed is a very honorable bed. You are not supposed to bring other women in. Actually, the worst is these who bring them right into the room. If first of all, sitting outside is bad, what about now bringing right inside the bedroom? That's why I say that If you know you're not mentally right in your character, don't dare enter the marriage institution for those who are not married. Because what will happen is you're going to bring a curse that will not only end there. You may not even realize it's a curse because it may affect the children. You will die and it goes down to the generation. You observe families where they are in polygamous families. I'm not despising them, but I'm saying what I'm going to say, what I've seen. In polygamous families, there will always be a polygamous child. It's automatic. You follow it. You find if daddy has many women, the children will also have many women. How are you going to correct? Unless if you're not a Christian, well and good, but if you believe in the Bible, don't dare go there because you're going to bring a problem to yourself. You will never know the cause of the problem surrounding you unless you look to Christ. Let's read Philippians chapter 4, verse 5. Let your moderation be known unto all men, the Lord is at hand. We are all aware there is saying Jesus is coming, Maranatha, right? Understand the meaning of that word. Meaning that for God watches the steps of everyone, and if Christ is to come, we should be pure. That is what I can say about that. Like I said, I'm rushing. 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 18. Flee fornication. Every sin that a man doeth is without the body, but he that committeth fornication sinneth against his own body. There is no sin that you sin against your own body like that of adultery. That's why when you contract the virus, before you even pass it to any other person, it is with you, the culprit. And it goes down even to the children, simply because of a sin committed by one person. Let's go to Job chapter 31, verses 1 to 4. It says, I made a covenant with mine eyes. Why then should I think upon a maid? For what portion of God is there from above, and what inheritance of the Almighty from on high? Is not destruction to the wicked, and a strange punishment to the workers of iniquity? Doth not he see my ways and count all my steps? That is the major verse I want, verse 4. As you start moving to do anything against the marital rules, know that God watches. And it's only a matter of time that he will act. And once he speaks, there is no compromise. You either accept to walk according to the ways of God, or you start wrong and end on the wrong. Many people are disorganized, and many people are living lives of regret in marriages simply because we have refused to go by the word of God. And under adultery, there are people I categorize them. There are these ones who are called in boarding section and the day scholars. The boarders are these people. It's very common with men. I am not against men. A man will tell you, I am going to work, I will be in Mbale. Yet he's within Soroti. In some corner, he's in boarding. He'll be there after a week. He may even be sending money, he'll be making calls. You go to Eneku and you find him there. That one is the border. Then the day scholars, they come home in time, but their hours, they know it themselves. He will come home at 6, he would have bought food with all smiles, yet behind he has been doing this. These are the day scholars. Now, let's look at what this brings. Infidelity has brought brokenness it has broken openness in people. Where if a woman was once open and very sincere, she will never be open and sincere unless she sees that you, unless you win her heart that you no longer do those things. But in most cases, she will never be open with you because she knows at any one point you are capable of doing it. It brings selfishness where women stop spending. In their mind, they will say, if I spend by, after all, this is his children, have these children belong to his clan. I am only here. I have come to join the clan. Let him feed his family. Why should I feed his family? Maybe his mother is there, the father is there. I use my money, and yet he's spending his money out. So what she does is, I'm a woman and I know what I'm talking. I've gone to families, I've talked to women, and a woman will say, for me now, in Ateso they say, adaundo, senior, you know it, meaning that it is the end. And trust me, if a woman says adaundo, and it has come from a woman who has come, who comes as outside the Garden of Eden, just know she's not going to be honest with you. Then also it leads to suspicion, whereby she will keep suspecting you that you must be doing something again. That bond may never be there, so the best is not to even enter into it. Then it may even lead to lack of love in some cases where if she loved you 100%, she would say, but now I'm reducing it for 60. There is what I call leaving room for supposing. Suppose it does this. Suppose this happens. So you leave that gap in case he makes that mistake. You just say, you'd have already expected it. So that is very bad. Then another thing that is bad, I don't intend to annoy anyone, but this one, do it, and I'm serious. Do it if you're foolish in marriage. That is masturbation. If you know you're a victim of masturbation, whether you know it or not, you know you have a mental problem. Because you're trying to say, God, I'm a woman. Oh, no, I'm a man. Oh, I can solve. You're not self-contained. That's why God put Eve for Adam. It's a sign that you want marriage, but somehow you're doing it the wrong way. Before you know it, it's going to affect you. And if you start masturbation before marriage, for those who are not married, you will carry it even into your marital bed. So what's the use of the woman? You're self-contained, right? So why would you go for a woman and you begin doing such, I call them weird things. That is something you do not want anyone even to know that you're doing. And yet it is happening right in the Adventist church. We need to style up and end these things. It leads to division. I'm still under what adultery brings. Division in children. Remember the story of Joseph, the son of Jacob. If they had been from one mother, these ones wouldn't have thought of selling him. But because they knew that we are not from the same mother, they had to sell Joseph. And generally, when a father dies, there will be problems here in Teso, I see, of land, and not only those, there are so many things. Then there are also issues of diseases. HIV is usually number one. That's what people fear most. Nowadays, people don't mind much about gonorrhea, syphilis. But I am telling you, if that attacks you to the worst, that's when you know that it's not good, it's not easy. Then it has also made many girls fear marriage. The other day I asked a question, who is willing to get married? I realized that people fear marriage. There are very few hands, simply because people are seeing, if maybe my father has done it, what guarantees that some other man will not do it to me? If a girl sees the torture the mother is going through, she may fear that even me, I'll go through the same thing. So the best is I stay home. Question, where is which, are we going to have more children? I'm not saying go and produce for, no. What I'm saying is, if anything that God gave us is good, right? But now how we use it, Thank you, madam. But how we use it may make it look wrong. Another thing is there are people, I'm not supposed to mention this because little children are here, who are so much into this activity. You have understood me. So let's have self-control. You don't have to rush every time, every day, every day, every day. No, it's not about sex every day. No. There is a point where there's a point it becomes now a bore. Oh, I'm really bad this day. Then, because people, I say, we are talking, we interact. Tell me what you think. If I'm wrong, tell me. If you have an experience anywhere, explain it. Share those ideas with me. Even me, I want to learn from you. I'm only giving a little, but don't think I know everything. No, I need, because marriage, we keep learning things. Then there is what I call bad language. Under bad language, it injures the soul of someone where you always use bad words when you're talking. Let's have respect for one another. This has made many women very bitter. And as a result, men, by the time your wife discovers you're cheating, be very careful of the way she's going to handle the children, especially the boy children. She will transfer this annoyance to the boys, especially. And the mentality is that if this is a boy, he's going to do this, has the same genes, the same gender, and they will torture these children. And as a result, very many people, many children have suffered, and there are those girls who have made a latrine the store for children. Have we not had cases where babies have been dropped into latrines? You ask them why they are doing it, they will tell you the father abandoned me. He deceived me and left me. So the best place is what? The latrine. Before you drop that baby there, imagine the first feeling that kid feels as the child hits the ground and begins breathing until they take their last breath. It is a grievous sin for a mother to do this. Some keep carrying out abortions. You are not, if you know that you're not ready for marriage, don't engage yourself in sex. That's why the Bible says we have to be patient. Wait at the right time, then you can get married. In such cases, you're able to go maybe to the clan leader and you say, my husband has changed. But if you're not married, you've got this baby, which clan leader are you going to tell that your son impregnated me? The question is, from where? Because he could be a married man. For you people who are running around with married men, be careful. The law will get you. It is, and it may not be the human law, but God's law will get you and you will know. Then we have the issue of honest or insincere partners. If you're not honest, you're not sincere, it means that your family is even destroyed before you actually get married. Simply because you're not going to be able to sustain that lie. At one point, the woman will discover or the man will know that you're a liar. And trust me, you will never be in position to rebuild that trust. Then also let's read 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 18. First Corinthians chapter 6, verse 18. Mine says, okay, flee fornication. Flee fornication. Every sin that a man does is outside the body, but he that commits fornication sins against his own body. What know you not that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost, God, and you are not your own? Meaning that we only carry the bodies, but the owner is there. If you know that you're a married person, build a wall in your own reasoning that you should not go outside it. Immediately you go outside it, then you know there's going to be a problem. Like I said, my time is limited. Let's look at how to restore solutions to challenges in marriages, how to restore the Eden family into our families. Because at the very beginning, God put Adam and Eve. After fall of man, so many things came in. So let's look at what we should do to make sure that there is harmony in our marriages, in our families, that the Eden family is back into our families. The first thing that we need to do is to be right with God in our marriages. We need to pray together and for one another. Meaning that when you pray together and pray for one another, you strengthen one another and your spirituality also goes higher. But if you do not pray, then there are chances that you are going to work outside God's ways. Never dare, madam, to go to a witch doctor in the name of restoring love, because you're only bringing curses to that marriage. For those who are not yet married, never visit a witch doctor in the name of bringing peace to your marriage. That peace will be it's not even peace. It is going to be an umbrella of problems, where the problems will be under and up will look to be guarded. Then worship on Sabbath together. Don't let only the partner go, move together. Share with others out there. Then mind your language. Should have good communication between one another so that you can have peace in the family. Like I said, a family that uses bad language, it goes down even to the children. I know mothers who teach their own children to abuse. You just abuse and the child will do it, but we are supposed to train these children not to abuse. Let's learn to be honest, sincere. If you're not married, set your mind that once I enter marriage, I should try to be sincere. Share ideas in terms of money. Discuss your family problems together and try to seek solutions from God. Do not be extravagant. In other words, lead a simple but accurate life, and this should be taught even to the children. Because in most cases, we live a life that is outside where we are not able to manage. Use money the right way so that if God has blessed you with this money, then you should have the right approach to using it. Bear in mind, all that God gives us is for the glory of God. Let's learn to be modest and maintain hygiene in our families, because even this is a very big problem where many people, if you're not modest and clean, the other time Brother Jordan was giving a scenario where a man said the wife is dirty. We may not manage 100%, but we can try. How can a woman not bathe? For what? You have water, you have soap, you don't want to bathe. Where is the problem? A man doesn't bathe, comes home with dirty socks, does not want the woman to say anything. Some socks are even smelly, by the way. Let's organize ourselves. By the way, the skin is one of the organs that we use for breathing. So if we do not clean it, it will bring a problem. Any contribution? Let's learn to be honest. Let's be organizing. The organization should start from the brain, and then it will go down to the children and to the family members. And then the other thing is, let's not be, like I said, in boarding or day scholars, where you leave your family, you fast in a boarding session for a week, then you come back, and then you pretend. And incidentally, it happens even to preachers. Comes home, says, praise God, how has God kept you? Now, when you ask him, how has God kept you? What reason are you going to give this person? Because you've been doing something bad. For women who go to the field, be careful of what you do there. You keep calling, talking to this person. They are always mentioning the name of God, but under it, they are not doing what is expected of them. So we need to change and be the people God has called us to be. Another thing is, do not be mean. I remember mentioning the thing that if you know you have that disease of being mean, don't get married. You keep it yours, because every other, there is a saying in Nateso that a George, I think meaning these belts of women, you keep your money there, or inside here. You don't want to share. By the time you got this man had a mother, maybe, okay, had relatives. You keep sending money to your mother. You came to this home to send money, that you came to build this home. I am not saying that you don't send money to help your parents. It is okay. But let it be agreed. Where you say, my mom may be sick, help me with money, or if you have, you contribute. The next time his mother is also not well, sure, let's live in harmony and we shall have a beautiful home. Then another thing is, there are people, I don't know, I normally say that foolishness does not know wisdom. But wisdom is able to see foolishness, detect, and turn away. These are people, a woman who tears down her own home by herself. Today, this goes to women. A woman does not care about the upkeep of the children. The man tries all the day, tries to put food on the table. She's ever gossiping. By the time the man comes home, she's seated focused on Nigeria, watching those movies. The food burns. She does not even realize there's a smell. A neighbor keeps saying, are you cooking potatoes? That's when she wakes up to know that, actually there was food. She goes there. That is not, it means the truth is you're not using your common sense. You're not fit to be married. Because before you go to marriage, know your age, know your mental status, know your capacities, know your love for other people. That you're going to build the other place, not to destroy. You don't go there to be a bitter pill in somebody's son. You're supposed to be a solution, not a problem. And also, men, if the woman has come to be a solution, like I said the other time, that in some Bible versions, there is where Adam, when Eve was created, Adam said, at last, there is that statement. I think it's New Living Translation, something, where Adam says, at last, meaning that finally I found someone like me. Finally, I have someone to talk to. Finally, why do you keep quiet with this woman? He has come to you. He may be asking for something. The man is ever quiet, doesn't want to talk. You are the one who took this woman to this home. Style up and talk to this woman. Why did you bring her? Why do you want to torment her? We have to move together as children of God, and we shall have beautiful families. Today, if I don't want to ask this question. If you ask many people from here if they're married, you'll find that there are those who divorce, there are those who are about to get married, there are those who are fearing to get married, there are those who have put a red line that for me, never, I will not go into marriage. And yet, marriage, as God put it, is a very good thing. But we bring things that out of our own ignorance, our selfishness, our stubbornness, or out of bitterness, because it has happened to me, I'm also going to do it to some other person. That is not what God intended. We are supposed to be focused. Don't go revenging on someone who is innocent. If God decides to revenge on you, you will not like it. By the time God reverses, then this one, it will get back to you. Pray together. In the story of Jacob, we are told that he prayed and he wrestled with God, agonizing. Somewhere it said that he was told, from today you will not be Jacob, you're going to be who? Israel. Meaning there will be a change in your life. You will have a new name and you will have a new testimony in your marriage, in your life, and your children will be new, and all that you will do will be right before God. But it all starts with the mindset, what we want our families to be. We set a good foundation with God, build it with God, roof it with God, then we enter. I said the other time that in the marriage institution, there is no hanging on the fence. Once you enter, the gate is locked. There is no coming out. Everything is supposed to be finished. Where? There. Because you say until what? Death. Did anyone open your mouth? No, you only ask and you open. Ah, yes. You say yes. So keep on yesing when you're where? In till the end of your time. There is nothing. I'm not intending to annoy anyone. People are looking at me. You. I'm only mentioning what I'm saying. We share. Let's interact. We talk. Don't go there doing weird things. Now I'm going to mention something that is not very nice, but we are friends. Let's read Leviticus chapter 15, verse 19. Leviticus, and I would really want us to read that one. Brother Sammy, the other time you had a very good version. You take her through all those versions and understand it. Hmm? And if a hmm, says, and if a woman have an issue, and her issue in her flesh be blood, she shall be put apart 7 days, and whosoever toucheth her shall be unclean until the even. Right? Any other version? What is the issue according to people? What is the issue? Because it says, I want us to understand the issue.
I'll take you back to, I don't want you to lose your thoughts, but I'll take you back to Genesis chapter 1. Don't worry, you'll take my name.
It is okay. It's okay.
So, Genesis chapter 1, verses 23 in the New Jerusalem Bible. Then Adam said, "This creature is now my bone, my bones."
Mm-hmm.
Yes, flesh of my flesh.
Mm-hmm.
This was a particular creature, not all the creatures.
Mm. Thank you.
So you are in Leviticus
Chapter 15, verse 19. Chapter 15, 15, verse 19. Mm.
So that is it. Whenever a woman has a discharge and the discharge in her body is of blood, she will remain in a state of menstrual pollution for 7 days. Anyone who touches her will be unclean until evening.
Mm. Question: why do people have sex when women are in periods? It's a touchy subject, but I'm mentioning it. I have heard it many times. Even common sense speaks. Hmm? We don't need to reach this level. Hmm? It's not good. We need to exercise self control. Hmm? That's why Philippians 4:5 tells us, let's have self control. Let's have Matthew chapter 1, verse 25. Mine says, are we there? Matthew chapter 1, verse 25.
Says, but he had no union with her as a husband until she had borne her firstborn son, and we call his name, this is maybe I look in another version.
Go to another version. Thank you. Hmm.
20? This was 20.
Matthew verse 25, chapter 1, verse 25. It's missing. Mm.
So in the new versions, it's missing that. I'm not for another translation. Just continues. So in Message Bible, it says that, but he did not consummate the marriage until he had the baby. He named the baby Jesus.
This one, this one saying had no intercourse, basically did not have sex, meaning Joseph did not go in for unite with Mary until the time Jesus was born. If you chose 100 couples, out of those 100, the man would have had 8 women or 9, even beyond that. The girl would have also had, you test, so then you say, finally, I want to stabilize with this one. You will continue testing because that is your nature. But when you humble yourself and you get your way out, you'll find that everything will be blessed. And then above all, it says, and knew her not till she brought forth her firstborn son. Meaning that Joseph knew the wife was pregnant, right? Let's exercise self-control when the woman is pregnant. Mama is carrying twins, your twins. You still want to sleep with her. She's tired. Can't you control yourself? Let's learn to control ourselves in everything that we do. My time is running, but we shall move together. So let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13.
Verse 10, verse 13 says, every test that you have experienced is the kind that normally comes to people. But God keeps his promise, and he will not allow you to be tested beyond your power to remain firm the time you are put to the test. He will give you the strength to endure it and so provide you the way.
Which version is that one? Very good. It is easy reading. So sometimes we go into this adultery and then we say, I'm sorry, I was tempted. There is no temptation that God allows to happen to overpower you. It is your will. Build a character that your will be right with God. But every other time you're tempted, other people not tempted. Okay, let your partner be tempted and they also yield into this temptation. Then you'll understand what it means to be tempted. Because you will do it, you come back, you say, sorry, I was tempted. The other also does it and says, I'm sorry, I was what? Temptation is there, not so. So we're all tempted. So what value, marital values are we going to pass over to the next, to our children? We have to exercise self-control. Sometimes, in most cases, there are associations we have, and then the phone is good. But I'm telling you, a smartphone can be smarter than a human being. That it just didn't carry the name for no. The owners knew what's going to do. We use this phone for doing the worst immorality. TikTok has become a menu for many. You begin seeing weird things. Women, you are not even going to, you're seated in sorority, even when you look at the environment, and you're thinking about a woman who is in Russia. What? You don't even know. You don't even have money for border. You're thinking about a person. You can't even. What is the problem? Let's learn to organize our brains and we be true, and we shall not have these weird imaginations. I have seen in people's phones, especially the youth, You find there a picture of a very beautiful woman or a very handsome man. But when you examine, you see this person was captivated by the eyes. Hmm? You have your own eyes. Wash them and be contented. A person, you don't even know the kind of lives they are living, and it keeps dancing in your brain. You even tap when the phone closes so that the light comes to show you this beautiful woman or this Mr. Hank. Who told you they are there? I am not rude. I'm only mentioning. Yes, Mama. Eh? Imaginary. Right, you have used the right word. Hmm? You just think about something and you feel it is better for you to put yourself so that when you see yourself, you're not tempted. That is you or your child. Hmm? But you put somebody, you do not know the character. So you live a life of immorality in your brain before it is seen clearly in the actions that you live. No, we are not supposed to live our lives like this. We are supposed to be contented with what God has given us, that we may be found to be children of God. My time is running. And then also what we watch, that is pornography. I don't know if we know this. Dirty pictures, naked people. Hmm? Why should you, when you're bathing, you're naked? Not so. It's enough for you for the day. To open a picture to look purposely for the naked people, it shows that your mental capacity is, you can never walk with God when you have that mind, by the way. Because that's why you find a group of men will all turn to look at a particular woman walking her bumps, their brain will be there. You touch, he's not looking. Simply because the brain has been drained there. But we have to know that it is sin, and we should recollect our brains and walk according to what God wants us to do. I have not come to annoy anyone. I'm only mentioning, because with family life, what I've realized, if you don't speak out the truth will not be solved. If you go to a marital counselor, then you begin telling them things and you're not mentioning the hidden truth, what have you going to do there? Go there, open up and say, this is it. I'm told there are even weird strokes when you go to the bedrooms, very dirty things. We should walk out of this. You know, we are combined with children, so I try to bring it the upper part. But according to the way I mention it, the upper way, you have understood in the downer way, right? People have understood the things. Let's spare the children. Let's sin and leave the children. They belong to Christ. Even Christ said, leave the children to come to me, for the kingdom belongs to them. So let's change our ways. There is nothing as destructive as adultery in most marriages. This is not right. I think my time is up. I don't know if there are any contributions, any hands up, any.
No, I just wanted to read in Amplified version, Amplified version of 1 Corinthians 10:13. No temptation, no trial regarded as enticing to sin, no matter how it comes or where it leads, have overtaken you and laid hold on you that is not common to man. That is, no temptation of trial has come to you that is beyond human resistance. And that is not adjusted and adapted and belonging to human experience, and such as a man can bear. But God is faithful to his word and to his compassionate nature, and he can be trusted not to let you be tempted and tried and say beyond your ability and strength of resistance and power to endure. But with the temptation, he will always also provide a way out, the means of escape to a landing place, that you may be capable and strong and powerful to bear up under his patience.
Let's leave it there. Thank you so much. There is that what is saying that he will always, meaning God will always work out a way for you. It is only us who are big-headed. Even when a friend warns you that, my dear, that is not good, sometimes we feel it is because he's also interested in it. Let's know that God cannot allow you to enter into trouble. He's a God who protects. He's a God who defends us. So he'll warn knowing that there is danger. I said earlier that God knew the end from the beginning. And when he says, do not commit adultery, let's not think that God did not have words to finish that because it will lead to sweet children, it will lead to this. He just just don't obey, do not commit adultery. If you don't want to go by what God has said, you go and do it. Just go and do it. That's when you will know the size of ARVs, the different lines of ARVs, the pain it causes, the distraction it brings to the family, the way children will be disorganized, and you may never know the beginning of some passages unless a religious person comes. The person has really understood family life, and maybe the Bible will come and examine, question you, and tell you this is where you went wrong. Youth, I can only tell you, my appeal to you is engage yourselves in doing the work of God. It will direct you, it will guide you, and you will not be led into temptation because most of the time you'll be taken up with that work. But when you relax that you're the one who is ever playing cards, budgeting for money for what is it omweso? There is that and also omweso. You don't even have time, you don't remember the Sabbath. By the time it clicks Sabbath hours, you're thinking we're going to a neighbor's place to do something. It will not work out. But when you engage yourselves, you'll find that everything will move in smoothly. Thank you so much. Let's sing Song 150 and then we close. 150 on Shalom. Title is the Angry Words. Angry Words.